Hi guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the news over the past week from boxing. First I'm going to talk about Devin Haney and the Ryan Garcia situation. Garcia said multiple times on Twitter that he wants Golden Boy to start talks with Devin Haney's team, which is Matchroom, for a possible fight early in the new year. I'd love to see that fight. That's one of the fights I want to see Haney in next year. It's probably one of the top 10 fights that I want to see next year. I think it's a big money fight. I think Devin Haney would win, and I think if Ryan Garcia can fight Rolly Romero instead, he probably will. But yeah, we'll have to see how the negotiations go with that one. There's also been rumours of Devin Haney wanted to fight Conor Benn. That'd be a good fight at welterweight. That would have to be at, because Conor Benn's a welterweight. I don't know why Haney wants to fight Conor Benn now. He's apparently said to Eddie Hearn that he wants to fight Conor Benn. I don't quite know why. I don't know if there's a bit of an altercation or something there. I don't know what the reason is for it, but it's a fight that I'd like to see potentially in the UK. I think Haney would I think he would outbox Conor Benn. But it'd be good to see Haney against someone bigger, because Haney weighed, I think it's £166 when he was supposed to be fighting at 140. Well, he rehydrated after fighting at £140 to £166, which is obviously a massive jump. He's cutting a lot of weight, but if he can do it, he can do it. I think he should eventually move up to welterweight, and the fact that he wants to fight Conor Benn shows it would probably be sooner rather than later that he's going to move up to welterweight. Another bit of interesting news in the welterweight division is that Eddie Hearn wants to sign Jaron Boots Ennis. That could be for the winner, or that could be for one of his welterweights. I don't think he's got that many welterweights. He's got Conor Benn, obviously. That's the only welterweight that really springs off the top of my head. Obviously, if Haney moves up, there's Haney and Ennis would be a big fight in the future. So potentially that's what he's looking for. You might think he could potentially make a fight with Virgil Ortiz, because they're both on DAZN, Golden Boy and Matchroom. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see what happens with Jaron Boots Ennis. I'd like to see him sign with Eddie Hearn. I don't know really who else he would sign to, unless he's going to stay with PBC, because they've got quite a few welterweights, but none of them seem to want to fight him. So if he can move to Matchroom and get a better level of opposition, then that'd be good for Jaron Ennis, because I do rate him really highly, and I think if he gets a couple good fights together, he could get into the top 10 pound for pound. Coming off of the past weekend, Sonny Edwards obviously lost to Bam Rodriguez, sorry. So I mentioned how brave Sonny Edwards was, and how his mindset was just motivational and inspirational. It's come out in the past couple of days that he had a fractured eye, which just shows his bravery. Like, a lot of boxers quit with a fractured eye socket, but Sonny Edwards kept fighting. This happened early in the fight as well. Sonny Edwards kept fighting. The likes of like Billy Joe Saunders and Daniel Dubois have been notable people who have either taken a knee or not got up off the stool after having a fractured eye socket. So good on Sonny Edwards for showing his bravery and his mindset, and he's just a different level of fighter. And then we're going to talk about Lomachenko versus Kambosos. So I spoke about this previously, and apparently it's going to be finalised for April soon, hopefully, in Australia. That'd be a good fight. I do think Lomachenko will win. I said that when I first talked about that fight. I do think Lomachenko will win. I think Lomachenko's just too good technically. I think Kambosos winds up trying to find that big shot, and he doesn't really have... He's got a bit of speed. I just don't think he has a good amount of power. I just don't think he'd be able to keep Lomachenko off of him. Lomachenko's going to be too experienced, I think, and just too good in general. His footwork's going to be on full display in that fight, and I wouldn't say Kambosos is... I don't know their exact heights, but I don't think Kambosos is going to be too much taller than them. So if he can get on the reach of people that are like Nakatani, who's much taller than him, Devin Haney, who's much taller than him, I don't think he'll have much problem with getting to Kambosos. And I think that'd be a pretty simple fight for him. I think he might get a stoppage. And then Past opponent for Lomachenko, sorry, and potentially a future opponent for Devin Haney is Teofimo Lopez against Ortiz. So Ortiz he's also a past opponent of Vasily Lomachenko. Jermaine Ortiz, I think it is. They're potentially going to be, they are going to be fighting February 8th, I think it was. Good fight, good comeback opponent for Lopez after he supposedly retired. This is going to be for the WBO title and the Ring Magazine title. Ortiz had a good fight with Lomachenko before Lomachenko fought Haney, and Lopez beat Lomachenko. I do think Lopez will win this fight, and hopefully it will set up a fight with him in the middle of the year against Matthias, like I was speaking about last week. I think that'd be a really entertaining fight. That's a fight I want to see. I also think this fight would be quite entertaining, but I think Lopez is just a level above Jermaine Ortiz. Apparently Beterbiev is also wanting to fight Benavidez if he comes up in weight. I'd like to see Beterbiev fight Bivol, that goes without saying, for the undisputed 175-pound title. But if Benavidez can't get the Canelo fight and Beterbiev can't get the Bivol fight, I'd like to see him move up and potentially get the fight, or Benavidez potentially get the fight against Beterbiev. I think he's earned it. I think if he goes up, he should be quite highly ranked with the WBC, hopefully. So that means he might be able to work his way into a mandatory position with probably one decent level opposition, I'd say. And that'd be a really good fight, really entertaining. It's a fight that I'd want to see sooner rather than later, because Beterbiev is getting up in the age category a bit, and yeah, I would back Benavidez probably to win that fight just purely off of age. I think they've got similar come forward styles, but I'd say, well, they're both quite technical, to be fair. Beterbiev's got the amateur pedigree. Benavidez is more of he's had more experience in the professional ranks, so I would like to see the fight. I'd prefer to see Bivol versus Beterbiev, but if that can't be made, I'd like to see Beterbiev versus Benavidez. And then the last bit of news, there's two more bits of news that I'm going to be talking about. Valenzuela, who fought on the weekend, which I spoke about, his knockout of Chris Colbert, he wants to fight Gervonta Davis. You can't blame him. It's going to be a lot of money. It's going to be on pay-per-view if he fights Gervonta Davis. I just think Gervonta Davis is a couple levels above him at the moment, and I'd like to see him bridge the gap in his opponents a bit. So I'd like to see him fight Frank Martin, like I said, on Monday. And I'd like to see, well, potentially if he could beat Frank Martin, I don't see why he couldn't fight Gervonta Davis. I don't think Gervonta Davis is going to fight. I think he'll probably fight twice next year, and I don't think there'll be the level of opposition that will put him into my personal pound for pound. Because I think they'll both be PBC fighters. I think one of them will probably be Isaac Cruz, and then the other one might just be Valenzuela. And if he does have that, I wouldn't say he'd be on my pound for pound list after that. And then the last bit of news that I'm going to talk about today is Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. There's tentative links for a March 9th fight between the two. It'd be an amazing fight. It's one of the fights I want to see next year. I'll be making a video of the top 10 fights that I want to see next year. Towards the end of the year. Obviously it's towards the end of the year now, but like in probably next week sometime, when there's not much boxing going on, not much UFC, I'm going to be making a couple of videos about pound for pounds, about top 10 fights I want to see, end of year awards. So I assume this is if Anthony Joshua gets past Wallin on the weekend and Wilder gets past Parker on the weekend. I'm going to be doing a big preview for that show, and the Inoue versus Tapala show on Friday. There's no UFC this weekend, so I'll just be focusing on that. Might do a bit of a longer preview because of the depth of the card. But I really want to see Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, but I just have this feeling that one of them are probably going to lose on the weekend. I couldn't tell you which one I think is going to lose, but I have this feeling that one of them will. And yeah, I want to see that fight. I really do. We'll have to see what their performances are like on the weekend before I give a proper prediction, I think. But yeah, big week of fights this weekend. Thank you guys for listening. Please like and subscribe and comment what you like about the videos, what you don't like about the videos, what videos you'd like me to do over the Christmas period. Thank you guys.